back. We are back in the woods. Plan to sit all day here on the small public piece where I saw that big 8. If you haven't seen that episode, check it out. He's a beautiful deer. Hoping he makes another mistake, or perhaps another deer just runs this little ridge top here. It's a perfect rut setup. It's a good funnel. There's ag. There's good cover. So hopefully we get something to come play here. Fingers crossed. That happened really quick. He crested the hill behind the camera here, and there he was. So, I'm holding back my excitement right now because I didn't get an exit, and I got very low penetration. So I'm very, very nervous. I'm kind of sick, actually. I haven't got down to look, but after I shot him, he ran to the edge of the hill by the creek and just kind of stood there. And it looks like there's, I don't know, this much arrow sticking out, whatever that may be, but I'm nervous. I'm nervous what I got. It was, kind of a high angle because he was only 10 yards away, right? But I played back the footage before I did this because I was concerned of what happened, and I did hit one of these branches, so I don't know. I'm better than that. But until I get down and take a look, I don't know. So wish us luck. Alrighty. Quite a bit's transpired since we decided to pull out of the woods. So, my original intent was pull out of the woods after not having luck finding blood or where he went or the arrow. So I did that. While on the way out of the woods, I found the arrow, which was snapped off. There's probably about 6 inches inside of him still, and total penetration from the bloodline to the tip is about 10.5 inches. So that's better than I thought. When he ran away, it was really waving in the wind, and it didn't look very good. So I'm happy to see that. Right when I found the arrow, I actually found first blood. So I don't know if he pulled it out, snapped it off, or what happened. But It was where he had stopped and was kind of standing with his head down. So I found blood. It looks like good lung blood. There's good bubbles, good color. So that's exciting, especially with such a high shot and no exit. So I headed back home. I did put the footage on the big screen, and I actually edited it and created a short video which shows kind of the full speed, and then some slowed down versions, and then there's some stills in there too. So created like a 45-second video, sent it out to some buddies, got some second opinions. The thought and theory is, based on the high impact and the way it was angled down, they probably caught the front of the lung, at least one, and that's what makes me nervous. That's a single lung shot. With no exit and a single lung shot, I think I'm going to let him sit overnight. It's already been about 4 hours. I shot him at 1, it's 4 o'clock now. 3 hours. But I did hear some weird coughing and hacking while I was in the direction he headed up the valley when I was walking out of that valley. So that made me concerned he was still alive 40 minutes later, and I just don't want to push it. It's a small piece of property, small piece of real estate, and I could get screwed real quick here. So with the video in hand, I am headed back to talk to the landowner of the property I hunted on, the managed forest law, and the neighboring farmer that's up on top. Just waiting for an Onyx map to download here. But the intent is just let them know what's going on. If they were going to go in there, hopefully they don't have that intention, and hopefully if I tell them, they won't at all have the intention. But it is their property, they can do what they want. But just give them a heads up so we can set ourselves up for success tomorrow morning, and then try and get some additional permission. So that's the plan. I am feeling quite a bit more hopeful now that I've seen the footage, I've found the blood, and I have the arrow. But nonetheless, I don't have the deer in hand yet, and a little anxious still. So we're gonna head back out there and talk to some farmers, and hopefully we have some good words with them. Just got up here to where I found first blood. I actually hung my hat in the tree. That's basically all I had, but you can kind of see right here, that's where he ended up coming down and then heading kind of quartering downhill. So I found first blood right here, so we're gonna start looking and see what we can find. Excited. Give me a little second, but he right where this toilet paper is, right at the base of the tree, he must have stood there, and then he's actually out of sight from the tree that I shot him out of, so he actually kind of turns and goes back the way he came from. So had me a little messed up there for a second, but
Really got.
So got on some real good blood right from the start when he's going downhill, and then he gets down into the flat, and it just kind of dies out. So I had trouble finding where he went up again up the hill, because I know he went down the hill, and then I remember seeing him come back up the hill and then go back up the valley. So I went and found where he went up, and I found one little spot where he like jumped a tree going back up the hill, and it's the blood just dies out. So obvious, it's a high shot, no exit, so there's not going to be much blood when he's going uphill or on the flat. So I did end up walking some of the trails back towards the property line where the direction I saw him go, direction of travel, and I ended up jumping a coyote out of some really thick stuff, so maybe he's in there, but I need to talk to that farmer. I never got a hold of him last night, so I'm headed there now, and then I'm also going to ask if I find a blood tracking dog, if he would be able to go on the property as well. So just trying to take care of some stuff with permission, and then we'll get back after it. So.
So I just got back from getting permission from the farmer, so next door. So I just crossed over his fence line and I'm starting to run this trail. Probably walk up in this thick stuff, but I haven't picked up any other blood. I don't know quite. There's a trail below and there's a trail up here. I don't know quite which trail he kind of made his way this direction, but in the end he came from the stands back there. He ended up coming this way. That was the last direction of travel. So we're just gonna try and pick that up and see if we can find anything. So.
Well, about 8-9 hours later, we're back here, empty-handed. Basically a bloody arrow to show for it and a little bit of footage. Really disheartening. It's not an easy thing to kind of put out here, but this one didn't go our way, based on some of my decisions I made, and we're going to kind of talk through that. So, it was a high entry, no exit shot, pretty extreme angle. Got about 10 inches of penetration, as you can see based on the arrows here, lined up on the nocks. Right there's the bloodline. So it's I knew that going in, right? I wish, now knowing that the blood trail kind of dried up so quick, I wish I would have tried to call or tried to get a hold of or line up some blood tracking dogs sooner. I tried midday today and I had no luck. Granted, it was a Sunday and it was noon, and whatever. Everybody was busy, and that's fine. I just wish I would have lined some up yesterday, because I think I would have had more success. I'm kind of kicking myself in the butt for that. I've never used blood tracking dogs personally. I know guys who have, and they've had success. So it's not something I immediately think of, but I could have at least reached out, showed them the footage, and explained the shot, and said, this is what we're working with. Is this something you're interested in? They just said yes or no. So, that's something I wish I would have done. That coupled with maybe investigating the blood trail, yesterday sooner, I forced myself to get out of the woods because I felt he was bedding down pretty close to where the stand location was. Pretty calm day. Like I said, he wasn't bedding down too far, and I didn't want to bump him. And there's also that immediate excitement, right? You get on the blood trail, you start following, it looks really good, and for whatever reason, you bump your deer, and now you're for sure gonna have to let him sit. So I just forced myself with the intent that it was probably a single lung shot to let him sit, and I forced myself to get out of the woods immediately to do that. And in the end, the biggest scenario that caused this issue was my shot placement, shot selection. Right, on managed forest law, not allowed to trim branches. It's just part of the game. So I was thinking, I know I was thinking, if this deer gets behind me, just like the big 8-pointer did, I'm not going to have a shot. So whether you want to say I rushed it or I forced it or whatever, I picked a small window, right, basketball size, whatever, window I thought I could make it through. The deer was only at 15 yards. Um, the branch that I actually hit, I had to kind of crouch to get below. Whether I kind of stood up as I made the shot, or it wasn't low enough, or your arrow at that range it's still climbing to meet your pins, right? It's such a close proximity shot. If he was at 15 yards, that branch was at like 7 yards. So, my arrow was still trying to climb, and that could be an issue too. But in the end, it wasn't a big enough hole. Um, I know I could have made a better shot, and that's the result of what had happened here. If you actually see in the replay, my arrow hits the first branch and it actually kicks it sideways, and then the other branch hits the nock of the arrow and turns it and kind of deflects it down. So, between all that, it was a downfall from the start, and that's why I'm in the position I'm in. And I'm not saying the search is over, but at this point, it's a ways to meet more than likely, and that kind of that irks me. So it's not easy wasting a life like that, and that's, like I said, that's the frustrating part to me. So I'm gonna learn from it. I'm gonna change some things, and even considering different arrows, maybe a heavier setup. I think if we can do everything we can to eliminate scenarios like this as hunters, I know everybody says it happens. Well, if we can do everything we can to eliminate it, it won't happen as often. And I appreciate everybody's support. Going through all this, it means the world to me. Even from you followers and friends and family and everything. Instagram messages, text calls, all of it. I appreciate it. I know I'm not in this alone. I know other people have been here, but I'm gonna learn from it. Do what I can to change it. And as you guys are aware, this isn't something easy to talk about or show, right? I could just maybe be done with it and hide it and do a little Instagram update, and that's it. But I think we can all learn from the situation, and that's what I want to promote here. So overall, we're gonna keep looking, see what we can do. Granted, I gotta work this week, but we're gonna see what we can do around work and everything else. So I hope if you guys appreciate what you're seeing, the highs and lows, everything that goes along with being free to prowl, you like and subscribe below. We greatly appreciate it, more than ever this week. It probably boosts some morale, but yeah, please follow links in the description to social media if you're interested in that, and be sure to leave us comments, right? I'd like to know what you guys think of the shot and what your thoughts are. So as always, don't forget, you are free to prowl, and thank a veteran for their service. Catch you on the next one.